Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome to our neck of the woods.
Good day. Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Don't mind me. Fingers munching.
Oh, it's lunchy time anyway. Oh, I forgot to put something on for dinner. Do you want to have
Hello.
dinner? Hi, LHS. Good to see you, hon.
Sorry, not trying to talk food, but I got to pull something out for dinner.
So, yeah, I want to address something real quick while it's fresh in my mind because I just caught JW, and he was talking
He
about
looks like he's doing good.
he was talking about pinball preparedness had put it out there that they announced like they did like a 5-minute segment or something on the Today Show, and I'm taking it that is either just today or yesterday or something. Hey Brian, but they did a segment on mainstream news about telling people to have go bags or bug out bags in order to be able to be prepared in case of hurricanes or earthquakes.
So you can get to the city.
And then they were like advising people to bug out to a city. So I know none of us are that foolish. I mean, if you're here, you're not that foolish. Don't go to the cities. It'd be the last place you would go. That's just an easy roundup right there. So they got the hamster ball a rolling. But he did make some valid points. What that means is regular people who are not prepared, they're going to panic buy. They want this to happen to short those shelves even more, to short these products even more. This is intentional, and we all know it. But there's nothing to be scared of. Preparedness isn't just having this, that, and the other. Preparedness is here and here. Because these are the places, these are the areas that'll take you out quicker than not having knowledge and not having strength of mind, clarity of mind, and emotional strength during those times are what take a lot of people out. So that's what, we press that point a lot. So, yeah, they do. They think we're stupid.
Exactly. Go that way? Okay, I'll go that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to go somewhere? You know what? I think I'll just sit right here. I'll wait for the line to go down.
W.
What did you bring home there, girl?
Did she get another chipmunk?
Oh, I heard her meow.
Oh, I don't
there
think so.
There she is. Hi, baby girl.
No. Maybe she was out there.
Yeah, you dropped something on the porch, didn't you?
Our proud little warrior.
Oh, yes, you're such a good hunter. Yes, you are, my girl.
Yeah. Three chipmunks the other day.
You're a good girl. Yes, you are.
One today.
Oh, my. Yeah. If worst comes to worst, we'll be eating grass like every night of the week.
More than welcome. Come on
my
up.
Cat will bring that stuff home and
She'll
just
hunt it
throw
for
it
us
on the porch for us. She's like, "Hey, Mom,
well, grass rat barbecue.
This is what's for dinner."
Get that ready to set up for Friday nights.
She is good though. That's right. So, I mean, there's going to probably be a lot of talk about this coming up in the shows you guys are familiar with, and that's why we wanted to touch base on it real quick. But never forget the most important parts of preparing are preparing yourself to be mentally strong and emotionally strong in times of crisis. Because those are, you're going to have a lot of idiots in that mob mentality and is going to follow those idiots. And it's sad but true. We all know it. So I'm just letting you know. It was on the Today Show, I guess, and I'm passing on like third or fourth hand information here. It came from Pinball Preparedness, but I saw it on JW a few minutes before the show. I caught the end of his stream, and so I rewound it and I was watching, and he was letting us know that that it was on mainstream news today, I think, or yesterday. I'm not sure which. But that it was on the news telling normal folk, regular people who think that we're all crazy, that they should go have bug out bags. And all I heard was like a collective bah,
Moment.
like I'm sorry.
It was sad.
That was not right of me. Um, but if they're
It'll be
telling
all right.
if they're telling people that on mainstream news, whatever they think they're going to do, they're trying to round people up into the cities, or whatever. I don't know. And maybe it's just another ploy. Maybe it's just another false flag. Who knows at this point?
Yeah,
Um,
we'll see.
yeah, they won't know how to store it to last. I know exactly. They'll be buying everything up and won't know what to do with it all, and then half of it will go bad. That'll be a shame. I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't. But that being said, if you have last minute preps that you wanted to get, now might be the time.
Yeah.
To go do that. We'll probably be here when you get back from the
Salt,
store.
flour, sugar, baking soda, vinegar.
Just so you guys know what's going on there. I just thought that was very interesting.
So,
and I thought, oh, all those little hamsters are really running that wheel now.
all we can do is help out where we can help out.
Every cage is a matrix.
Own door and own trap door.
Yeah, they'll be buying everything under the sun. Yeah. So anyway, what do you guys want to talk about today? I know we don't usually do the newsy thing. We try to stay away from that. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And I thought you guys might like to hear about that too if you hadn't heard about it over there. And if you haven't checked out JW Survival, he's a really good dude. Y'all should check him out. Yeah, I mean, listen, we have the ability to be self-sustaining so long as we have still have our freedom of movement. As a country, we can do this. It's not that difficult.
Like month
and
a half, right?
So, yeah, I hear you. Within 6 weeks, they're doing it on purpose. Yeah. That push to go local, it was not all hype. You know what I mean? So, you don't have to apologize for anything, LHS. Okay, we'll see you in a second. Yeah. It's gonna get a little bit bad, but I mean, it's not that difficult to pump up your stores or buy things that aren't popular. Buy them from stores that aren't popular. That's the other thing. Or go to your local and learn how to preserve. Once you start preserving or fermenting some of your stuff, well, you don't even need refrigeration for that stuff. Half of it,
Yeah.
Learn alternative ways of refrigerating or keeping your things cool. There's all manner of ways to do it, even in hot climates. They make an outdoor like cooler box. It won't freeze anything for you, but it'll keep stuff from spoiling for whatever amount of time. So there are all kinds of alternative ways to do that.
Well, you gotta stop shoving your socks and underwear under there. That's what my mom used to tell me. Clean underneath your bed. You have room.
You can pop the link in if anybody wants to come up and chat today.
Oh, all right, I can do that. We'll be heading out here in a minute. Did I get it? I don't know if I got it. Copy, clipboard copied.
Not under my bed. There ain't no dead space.
Yeah, neither here. Yeah, we don't have it.
What are you
I
doing?
have no clue what I'm trying to do.
Do. Yeah, and get creative with storing stuff. My goodness, the way they waste space nowadays just boggles my mind. It really does. And I'm terrible with that. If I don't have enough things like places to keep stuff organized. I'm terrible at organizing. So I got to have spaces to organize or everything goes to pot. Hey, Bonnie.
All right.
She was on it this morning.
I got to get my lunch on now.
You were epic this morning, Bonnie.
Yeah, you were like, oh, good. You were on it. We were proud of you. Yeah, we're holding down the 1,000 something. Everybody else is doing the 16 to 57. We were all doing great. Everybody was doing a great job.
I don't understand how people can't see what's going on either. It just boggles me, and I can't understand why they don't want to see deeper. Like people they'll explore things to a certain point, and then they'll feel like they hit a dead end, so they'll stop looking. And my thing is, if you're not still asking questions, you haven't gotten all the answers. You probably, because in what world are we going to have every answer? We're not, right? Things lost or things stolen either way. You're not going to have all the answers, but don't stop looking. Look beyond what they want you to, where they want you to stop. And if they put up a stop sign, I'm going through that tape, man. I'm done. I just can't.
Believe nothing they tell you because they are more than likely lying to you anyway. Caught a news article that my roommate was reading today that was talking about Pfizer and Moderna and how they're not seeing the efficacy that they thought they should see in the second phase trials. Now, my question is this. Second phase trials usually happen 5 to 6 years into a vaccine, or excuse me.
Watch our words.
I caught myself. I'm sorry. Into the process of testing these things.
Well, we all know that this is an ongoing experimental trial. Why you can tell a million people that and only 2 will hear you is beyond me. It's like they came with free earplugs. And the thing about those shots that people aren't paying attention to, that even if your friend, your family member, your loved one that got one isn't deathly ill or suffering some physical side effect from these jabberdees, is that it's changing their personalities. All right. My brother used to call me every other day at least, and we would talk for about 2 minutes, and that was it. And that was great. Right. And then he got his jab, and then he still called me, and then he got his second one, and now he doesn't know I exist.
It's the second one. That's
Same with my mother-in-law.
It's the second one that's scary.
Mm-hmm. Hey, farmer son.
But anyway, I just jumped on. I was going to tell Jeff, there's no socks or underwear under my bed. I keep them in the drawer where they belong.
He's just picking on you.
Yeah,
I know.
When we were kids, Mom always get on us.
Not when I was younger.
Pushing everything under your bed.
Yeah, now everything's got its place.
Yeah. Now that there's a place for almost everything. Our bed's the same way. We have so much that's put away.
I had never thought about using it for storage underneath the bed for storage space until I was reading an article the other day, and I was like, you know what? It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, right now we're in the construction of our bedroom, and we're building one of those. You build a platform, and then underneath the platform is a box, basically like a water bed, but underneath
or an RV bed.
Yeah, but it's an RV bed
so it lifts up.
Type style, and you get 2 truck pistons, and you put them on the platform, and you lift it up, and you have all the storage underneath it there that will be kind of concealed too as well.
Oops, sorry, babe. Here.
I gotta turn this down. Oh, sorry, honey buck. So that's a lot of room.
How are you doing, farmer son?
Stairs going to the attic.
I'm doing well. How are y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
5x5.
All right, good deal. I have no idea what y'all are talking about, but I just figured I'd pop in and check on y'all. Make sure y'all doing okay.
We were talking
Well,
about
we
the size
appreciate
of
that.
my bed.
I seen your camp out. You having a good time with that?
It was. You talking about the camp out videos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I'm old and laying on the ground hurts, but yeah, it was fun.
Get you a hammock.
I've
Build you
got
one of
one.
those. Build you up a little off the ground raised platform. I've been watching these different little these guys go out in the woods and they make like these little hobbit houses right into a hillside and these little
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
and so Raina's really into that stuff, and I was like, well, what style do you want to build? So we've been watching a whole bunch of different ones like that. She likes the ones that are over in, I think they're in the Philippines or one of those islands over there, where they've got the sand like everywhere and the bamboo everywhere. And she's like, Mom, that's the kind I want to build. And I'm like, babe, I don't think that's gonna work.
The bamboo seems like it would be easier to deal with, but I don't know, maybe not. You don't ever know till you get right in the middle of trying to build one, you know.
Yeah. Yep. We're gonna build her a little spot down in the woods, her own little hangout spot. So,
awesome.
I've already got a little. We had a little like a platform and stuff down there. She'd go down there and play all the time, pretend like she has ropes to the trees, pretending like she was rappelling down the mountain. You know, when she was younger and stuff. It was her favorite little place, and we had dug her a fire pit and everything, so she could have her own campfire and.
Awesome.
Now we're just going to repurpose the area.
Yeah, just call it a bushcraft area or a camping area, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah,
for that.
well, we want to build like a semi-permanent structure type of deal down there for her. Just, but we want to do it kind of like how Shep had his with the logs and stuff. We're just probably we're gonna do a little bit more solid probably than that. But
well, the thing about the building part, I would do it, but you know, some of the property I'm camping on is not mine, and I don't want to cause problems with the landowners and that type of thing. So if it was on my property, I would definitely build me a something like that. Most definitely.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's all great fun. And good skill building, you know.
You learn something every time you go camping. You learn how not to set yourself on fire. You learn not to pull wagons through mud holes, you know, all that kind of good stuff. You'll learn all kind of stuff when you go camping. You'll learn how rough it is.
I only laugh at that one, Farmer Son, because when I was about 12, I did that. I set myself on fire.
I did that. Y'all, listen, this is a lesson you can take from me. When you're going to start a fire with Vaseline and cotton balls, that stuff will stick to your hand. So light it on the ground.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, put that stuff on the end of a little stick and make a torch.
Yeah. I thought I was going to light it and then drop it, and it stuck to my thumb. I'm like, ah! So I'm trying to get it off my thumb, which I did. So, but yeah, you always learn something when you go camping.
Yep.
That's where you learn your tips and your tricks and the things not to do again, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just welcoming in the new people that were just popping in.
And never pitch your tent downwind from the latrine.
Yeah. That's another good one. Yeah, you'll learn that too. Yeah.
And where to not leave your food. And your grills.
I usually left mine about 12 to 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's, I don't have to deal with bears down here, but, I mean, we have a few black bears, but they're rare. Seeing one's rare.
We got black bears here, so.
Yeah, that's what we've got in Alabama, but they're rare to see one.
I've had one run in with a black bear, and that was enough. I had it had a cub that had wandered off, and I was working a side job as a park ranger.
Yeah.
And yeah, this kid thought it would be real cute. Oh, look, a bear cub, and I'm like, come here.
No.
Just about the time the kid climbed into the truck, Mama comes lumbering out of the woods.
Yeah.
That was it.
I lived in Alaska for a few years, and they were always trying to get in our trash cans. You know, you don't have bird feeders in Alaska. I can tell you that one, because that attracts bears. And even the metal trash cans with the good metal lids, they were over there throwing them around, trying to get them pop open, and you know, they were a nuisance in Alaska.
No,
we don't really have bears around this part.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm out here in the Dismal Swamp, so we got black bear.
Yeah, I'm in the foothills of the Appalachian, so we have some black bears. That we have 2 or 3 sightings a year. That's about it. Statewide.
Wow, not bad.
Nah.
Most we deal with here is like the occasional bobcat. Only recently coming back into the picture, but
yeah, we've got some of those here too.
We got coyotes.
Yeah, we got plenty of coyotes. If you saw the camping videos, you know I took my rifle with me because we have plenty of coyotes out here.
Now that's
but as far as predators go in our area, those are our biggest predators.
That's something we don't have here. In fact, I had never seen a coyote in the wild until I moved to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
They got coy dogs.
In the wintertime especially, they'll come out in broad daylight down here. I saw Dad was out working on a tractor, and up here where I live, I can see the shop and what he's doing down there. You know, he's a good probably, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile away from me, but it's downhill from me, so I can see what he's doing. I caught a coyote stalking up on him. I shot him with a rifle last year. In broad daylight, he was stalking. Yeah. He was trying to quietly come up on my dad, and I don't know what his plans was, but I stopped him anyway.
That ain't something you want to play with.
No, and we have no bag limit down here. I can kill one every day. That's fine.
Yeah, here. Well, I don't know about here. I know up in New Hampshire when I was living up there, they were offering. I think it was $75 a pelt, and there was no bag limit.
Yeah.
They were paying for the pelts.
That's so sad to me, though. The destruction. I understand. I see both sides of that coin, but
yeah.
At the same time, I feel like it's not being gone about in the proper manner. You don't kill all the deer on your property in one season and expect to hunt next season. You know what I mean?
You don't management.
But with predator animals, they have their own job too. So I think it shouldn't be like.
I'm going to respectfully disagree with you a little bit on that one, Heather, only because I've seen what an overpopulation of deer can do firsthand, and it ain't pretty. We had an overpopulation here about 10 years ago, and it got so bad. It got so bad that the state actually declared a no bag limit on deer.
Right. Well, I mean, I understand what you're talking about, and that's what I was trying to explain was the flip side of that coin. I also get about overpopulation and about predator animals can get kind of thick and overwhelm other populations. There needs to be more balance, though, in the ecosystem, and the way they're going about it is almost intentionally unbalanced every time. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel. That's my opinion.
I see your point. Our concern here was the overpopulation of deer was causing other issues with other wildlife coming in, going after the deer, and they were ending up, down in the middle of town.
And there's ways to manage it. When you get a lot of population, when the population gets bigger, you get a lot of sick animals. They need
Yeah.
to be taken out. You know,
Yeah.
there's ways you manage it. Killing is part of that. Killing is how you manage it. But yeah, you can overdo it, Heather. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you can definitely overdo
Well,
it.
and this, like, you know, and Mike had brought that up over on Liberty Warrior the one night when he was talking about the wolf populations. When they do this, where they let all these wolves be hunted out of their natural environment, and then they bitched about the deer overpopulation because the predator animals weren't there doing their
Right.
job because
Yeah.
you let them in,
Because
come
if
in
you
and
mess
kill
with
them.
one, yeah,
And
if you
so-
mess with one species, it's gonna mess with all of them. It's a delicate
Exactly.
balance.
And then they come in and they reintroduce wolves, but they're not the type of wolves native to that area. And
Right.
so it causes more damage, more harm than good in every one of those scenarios. Hey, Bonnie, welcome up, hon.
Hi.
Hey, Bonnie.
How are y'all?
Hi, Bonnie.
Doing good.
Pretty good.
What y'all are talking about right now, I think a lot of that depends on the area that you're in also, because I mean, right in the middle of our town, you'll see wild hogs run through, which can be dangerous for kids riding their bikes around, whatever. And the deer are just, everyone's yard has them.
Yeah.
They're right up against the house. They'll eat your flowers. They'll eat whatever they can get. And so we do throw scraps out for them when it gets to be a drought, because we don't want them to starve and die of thirst.
Oh, they won't starve, Bonnie. Deer have been known to eat baby birds out of the nest in hard times. The
wow.
deer will adapt. They
Yeah.
will adapt.
I didn't know that, but
Mm-hmm.
we try to throw like vegetable scraps out for them. It's something that's got a lot of liquid in it, fluid,
Right.
Okay.
when there's a drought. But
Our deer here in Alabama, in my area, they're drastically overhunted. And when you see one, they're so dadgum skittish, they're gone. All you see is the tail.
yeah, and it's not that way here.
See, it's
I
not
think
that
I'm
way
too
for
close to a big city that we don't see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't live that far from Virginia Beach, and when you've got a herd, and by a herd I'm talking a buck, two does, and a couple of the babies, you know, from 2 blocks from City Hall, there's a problem.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is we're all encroaching on their territory, and I understand that part.
Exactly. We're building on their trails.
Exactly.
And forcing them further and further. Well,
We
and
force
some of
them
need be
to
forced.
interact more and more with us every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Some of them won't be forced. They'll just stay there. Then the people get mad because they're eating their trees,
Right.
plants,
Their flowers out of the flower bed or whatever. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you encroached on their land,
Right.
like we did way back then. And you were talking,
like I told some people around here, learn how to build a fence, dude.
yeah.
All I know to tell you.
And y'all were talking about the small housing and stuff, and it just made me think of every movie where they were stranded on a deserted island, and even if it's a really cold climate, look at the Eskimos.
Yeah.
And
the will to survive is stronger than you think.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
We're Americans, by gosh, and we're gonna make it.
That's right.
Heck yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we're tougher than they think we are. And I think we're smarter than they think we are too. And all that fear perfume they like to try to spread about, just don't sniff it. Don't take that in, because
don't fall for it.
Yeah.
It goes right back to, you have more skills than you have.
You don't know it.
Exactly. I'd rather be land savvy than tech savvy.
Well, I guarantee you, it's been a few years since I've cleaned an animal and, for to eat it and all. But I guarantee you, if I'm hungry, I'll remember real quick like.
Yeah, muscle memory.
Yeah.
No different than riding a bike.
Except the first time I got on a bike after X amount of years of not riding one, I fell straight over.
You still
It happens.
And boy,
You
my
just
legs
can't
hurt.
you just can't be scared of it and then decide to throw it down and say I'll never get on it again. You got to face that fear and get back on it.
Yep.
Right. And we could take, you made that point about the deer will adapt. We can take those lessons from nature because we too can adapt.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot, like anybody that's coming here is pretty adaptive, I think, or they probably wouldn't be listening in on this show.
Right.
But I think that that's the bit that people are going to panic and they're going to freak out and they're going to look to people who have a sound mind and a viewpoint that's not panicky, when this
ability
happens.
They're going to be looking at us for our ability to survive.
Yep.
Because my best friend of 40 years, she would never make it. She's so out there. She just wouldn't make it. She wouldn't have a chance.
It's the will to survive is you either have it or you don't, and some people don't.
Yeah.
But you never really know. You never really know until you're faced with that. How you're going to react.
That's true
about that.
And those of us who have been homeless, who have lived in a car, or those things, we do know how to survive.
Yeah,
you got that right.
And
that's the thing; those life experiences were hard going through them, but by hindsight, look at the skills that you've developed. Right? I mean, it's amazing what you learn from just living.
When you think about how many children you raised, and how many tips and tricks you
don't ask me. Don't ask me how I know that you can reuse tea bags up to 3 times and still get decent tea. Don't ask me how I know you can live off peanut butter and bread for 6 months. Don't ask me.
Right?
But I guarantee you, I have learned. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You can live on.
Don't ask me about having to dumpster dive for dinner. Because I don't know what you're talking about. Don't ask me about how to, how it's 30 degrees outside and you think you're going to freeze to death until you find a stack of newspapers. And lo and behold, you shove enough newspaper in the sleeves of your jacket.
Yeah.
You're warm.
And it insulates you. You learn these things when you're out on the street.
Amen, brother. Amen. You sure do.
Those are invaluable lessons.
I'm going to tell you, they're hard things to learn, but they're things you'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me about having to sleep under an exhaust vent in a restaurant because it's blowing out warm air on a cold night.
Right.
And how I raised 6 kids in a 1-room house. That it wasn't even really a house. It was probably a 14 by 20. Yeah. If that big. I don't even know that it was 20.
My mom tells the stories about the shack they lived in Clay County, Alabama, which is farther south from where I'm at. You could see the stars through the boards, and I mean,
oh yes,
she was telling me about that. And they had honey and biscuits every morning for breakfast for months on end. That's all they had.
Yeah.
We had a uncle that had a peach orchard, and he would get my kids to go out there and work, and they'd come home with boxes of coals. And so I'm in this little 3x3 kitchen canning peaches and doing whatever I could with them.
That's awesome.
But
see, that's where life's real lessons get learned, and that's where we can learn from from our elders too, that and listen to those stories about the Depression era. Listen to how these people survived and sometimes thrived and were able to help each other out, and and how that was done. Because if we do have to hit those days ahead, a lot of us are going to be more amply prepared mentally and emotionally, as well as physically, than those people. And it's going to be, in a way, it's going to be our place to try and help them up if we're about humanity. Yeah.
I told my sister the other day that I was worried about them. They're always worried about me because they make twice the money I do. I'm on a fixed income.
Money ain't gonna be worth beans.
I know.
If the fiat collapses.
I told her, I said, I'm worried about y'all because y'all don't have an alternate way to heat your home. Well, we'll be fine. I'm like, yeah, but me and Dad's rocking the propane over here. I don't know what y'all gonna do if the power goes out. I said, and how are you gonna cook? You got you got a electric stove over there. So I'm kind of worried about y'all. And she just kind of looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, well, whatever. I'm trying to tell you something.
My roommate and I had a similar conversation because he's a young buck. He's only 30, so he's of the opinion that we'll be all right. I'm like, oh, I know we gonna be all right because I'm gonna make sure we're all right. He goes, well, what are you gonna do if power goes out? I go, you see the fire pit out there in the backyard? I go, you also got a smoker in the garage, and I know how to use both of those things.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying that the other day. I was like, think about the skills that you have. I mean, because you have the knowledge. Most people barbecue in the summertime, or they know how to grill something, right?
Yes.
It's going to come down to you realizing you already have the know-how. You just have to utilize it in a different manner.
Mm-hmm. I barbecued steaks on a grill at 30 below zero in New Hampshire when we lost power.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you what, that was brutal, but it can be done.
Yeah.
Listen, well, I bought, generator. Texas. I got to address something real quick in chat. Okay. A generator, they tell everybody go get a generator, and a lot of people cannot afford a generator, or the generator that they actually want to get because it's a good one has it's waiting for a chip that they can't get. So my thing is, you got to go older school than that sometimes, and guess what? You'll pull through. You'll make it through. Yeah. Learn how to sleep with the moon and rise with the sun, and you'll be fine. I promise that works.
Yeah. Hit the
and for those that have a generator, get you some spare spark plugs. Make sure you got an extra quart of oil. If it takes a pull rope, make sure you got an extra pull rope. Just because you got a generator don't mean it's going to run good all the time.
Nope.
That's right.
And you hit the thrift stores and you get the old kerosene lanterns.
Yeah.
Or the hurricane lamps that have got the wicks in them that you just use hurricane oil or lamp oil in. Yep. I got two of those.
If it doesn't have the wicks, you can make them out of shoestrings.
Sure can.
Or cotton t-shirt.
Right.
Denim. If your water is on an electric pump, you need to know where there's a source of water that you can access throughout the winter without it freezing. If you have an electric water pump, that may be a concern. Check that
especially,
that you have water.
Especially most
Check
people with
water
electric
you
pumps
can use.
are on a well. Well pumps will freeze up, like Heather's saying. And if you got a well and an electric pump, you might be in trouble. You better have an alternate way.
That's my 1 weak spot as far as my preps are concerned is water, because we are in the middle of town and I'm not going to be able to leave town.
Right.
Luckily, we have a river going through.
I don't
close,
but everything else I may not be 100% comfortable with, but that the water is my chief concern right now. Is making sure
I have the Mutt. I have the water bricks, and they're like gigantic stackable Legos, and I find them to be very portable and very good to use. I have over 30 of them. They're 3.5 gallons each.
Oh, nice.
And Farmer, how much are those running you per container, or do you buy them in
bulk?
bulk?
I don't know, because I had to buy 8 at a time, and it's been a while since I bought any. But Overstock.com is where I bought them at.
I'll talk with my roommate about that, and we'll see about picking up a couple of those. Right now, I'm using just about. I'm not using. I've got milk jugs full of water, which I'm gonna have to. I don't 100% trust, but I'm looking at more food grade plastics
nice
containers.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? Also, they make it's called a aqua something, and you put it in your bathtub, and you fill it with water.
It's a bladder. Yeah.
Water
It's called
bob.
an aqua bladder.
Water bob.
A water bob.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, that's going to be the main concerns that people don't think of. They're not going to think of their water and their sewage and stuff. You need to have some alternative things going on there, and you need to look into that now rather than later.
Yes.
The other thing I would say is if you guys are worried about this stuff, start checking now how much water you use on average a day and where you can maybe cut that usage down a bit. In what areas can you use a little bit less so that you have it for drinking or cooking or what have you? Because that's going to be, I think, hard for a lot of folks, that bit right there.
Yeah, the water is your main.
Yeah, you can go 3 days without water, basically.
You can go 2 weeks without food. Well, longer if you have some other kind of nutrient.
It's the rule of 3. You can go 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. I believe is the way it goes.
Yeah,
the rule of 3.
Some of the things you buy already because it's what you like come in really good plastic jugs, like this apple juice one right here.
Yes, sir.
It's really good and thick, and I use it for my pets' water. Pets have to have water too. Here's another one. This one was Sunny Delight, and it comes in this big, nice, thick plastic bottle.
Another thing.
And if you guys are,
and the thicker the better.
If you guys are questioning your stored water, there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to just use regular household bleach. They tell you don't get the splash proof kind, don't get that thick shit, don't get the scented
don't get
stuff.
The scented, yeah, that's right.
But how to use it, how to measure it out. You can even pre-measure out your bleach that you're going to need for your water, like depending on what size jugs you have or what have you. And you can measure that out, put it in a straw, and burn both ends of that straw, and you got a nice little portable container of bleach in a straw that you can take with you, and it'll do X amount of water, a gallon of water, a liter of water, a half gallon.
But I tell you, one thing I have learned is if you have city water, you don't have to add nothing to it. The city water is treated good enough where it'll last for 6 months. I've got a little reminder set on my phone, on my smartphone, that reminds me to change out my water every 6 months. And as long as you have city water, it'll keep for 6 months.
Yeah,
if you're going to keep it for a year,
in it.
I need to rotate mine out. As a matter of fact, it's October, so that I need. Thank you for saying something about that, Farmer Son.
Oh, you're welcome.
I got to do that because I've got something that's been in there for 6 months.
Because if I don't set my reminder, I'll forget too much.
Yeah.
I saw Cupcake Girl. That doesn't have to be. That's one thing I learned with our Snowmageddon. It was sudden, and it lasted a week. There's ways of creating heat, whether you have a heater or not. We've talked about it here. It's layering your clothes. It's dressing in the house just like you're outside. It's building tents out of blankets, sheets, whatever you have.
Shelter for overnight.
One of the things that and I don't mean
use your animals.
Yes.
One of the things that one of my neighbors, when we were living in New England, when I lived in New England, taught us. If the power, because we had a couple of Snowmageddons ourselves up there.
Y'all do.
Well, no, I mean, like, even they were big even for them. Like the blizzard of 2008 we were out of power for like 3 weeks because it wasn't just a blizzard; it was an ice storm on top of it, and we actually had to have the Canadians. Yeah, I mean it was bad. But basically, what we ended up doing was we were taking the 1 and 2 man tents and we were popping them in the house and then just covering them with blankets because those tents actually hold heat.
Yes. That's called microclimate. You create a microclimate.
Yes, sir. And that, like a blankets over it, and it will hold that heat.
With your body heat.
It holds your body heat closer to you. And instead of being in a gigantic room, you're sleeping in that tent and it keeps you warmer.
And they we gauged it at one because we were trying it with our kids at one point because we were worried about it. And I took a thermometer, and I put it in there. I wanted to see how warm it got. It got up to 70 degrees in there, and it was 45 in the house at the time.
Right.
But inside that tent, it was 70 degrees. The kids were good.
I watched a video of this family, and they wanted to see how they could do it. And so they picked a January, and they went the whole month
video.
with no power.
That's good.
And they had kids and everything, and they were using tents. And she was so worried her kids were going to freeze to death. But those kids were sweating in those tents.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the heat was building up in there.
Yep. I mean, and especially if you've got a couple of good already, if you start out with a couple of good sleeping bags.
Yes.
We've got 0 rated bags. I mean, they're rated for 0 and below. I think
I've got one now that's rated -4 that I recently purchased. It's a 4-season bag.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a sleeping bag, quilts are amazing.
Yeah.
There's a reason they used quilts way back when.
I think my 0 bag is rated for -10.
That's good.
I'd have to double check that. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I remember it saying. But the kids were good.
Yeah. And that's my main thing was worrying about how to heat food. And so if you get those tea lights, whenever they go on sale, after any holiday, they're on sale at Dollar General for 50 cents, 25 cents, something like that, for a big package of them. And even if you have an electric stove, you can line those up underneath the burner, and there you are. Or you can get those, is it Sterno cans?
You get
the Sterno.
Sternos, yeah.
Yep. And you can put those in your oven and use the racks for your whatever you're sitting in there.
Yeah.
Sit it underneath the rack and you can cook.
Yeah. You can cook on the Sternos. Yeah, you can.
Yes.
It's more like heating something up, but it's better than nothing,
Yep.
I've got some of those too.
Yeah. We don't have any Sterno, but we do have the tea lights. And like I said, I know
Hi, Raina.
We've got those. We got that grill out back. It's not out back. It's actually in the shed, but it's a smoker and a grill. So I mean,
right, but you can't put that in the house.
Nope.
Do not put that in the house.
No.
I've got a 2-burner Coleman stove, and I've also got one of those little you screw it on the bottle, one of those little bottle burning stoves, like for hiking and camping. I've got one of those as well.
Yeah, I think I've got one at my parents' house. I've got to bring it over here, but I've got one at my folks' house from when I was in Scouts, and it's still functional. We used it a couple times.
And that's after that. I started once a month. I would just spend a little bit of money on something that I thought I might need, and it's like camping equipment. I've got a 1-burner camp stove now and then I've got the little propane tanks that I've been stocking up on. It's just been, anything that I can think of. I've got battery operated fans because I thought, okay, if the power goes out during the summer, we're going to die.
Exactly.
That's what I was worried about.
You have to think about all that stuff, Miss Bonnie.
Yeah.
Instead of buying all the 1 pound cylinders like you're talking about, I opted for the hose kit. That way you can do a couple of 20-pound tanks. And
yes.
That's what I do. It's not as portable as the 1 pounders, but I'm a bug in type of person, so I chose. I've got 3 of the 20-pound tanks and that cord or that hose kit, so I should be good for a while.
Yeah, we're bugging in too because I just don't have the mobility I used to have. So I feel you on that one.
I feel you.
Most of us are.
Well,
I mean, and I know a lot of us are older and have issues, and so you have to think about bugging in because just idealistically we can't. If it came down to it and we were taken over, I do know places to hide that would be out.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, a drastic last resort. And I've even told the girls, leave me here if you have to.
Oh, I've already told I've had that talk. Yeah, I've had that talk with the family. I'm like, look, I've already accepted my fate.
Yes.
You guys go where you need to go.
Yeah.
Leave me with my pew and I'm okay.
Yeah. Gotta have a pew.
Hey.
Yes, ma'am. It's your channel.
Little bit here has a new endeavor, and she would like to tell you guys about her new endeavor.
By all means, please.
Let us have it.
So, there you go.
I make stress balls.
Stress balls? I could use about a dozen.
There you go. Raina,
nope.
I'm actually using those right now to loosen up the arthritis in my fingers.
I made a white one today, and it turns pink. And I made it with the butter slime that my cousin got me for Christmas.
That is cool.
Awesome.
So how does it change these colors?
She would like to start making them and perhaps get in on our buy-sell trade thing that we want to do with everybody.
How much? Okay,
That's her
I don't
idea.
have anything to trade right now, but I would love to buy a couple of them.
Balls.
How much are they? How much? If I wanted to buy them, how much would they be? Because I don't have anything to trade right now.
Uh-oh. You got a customer.
Say it again because I didn't catch it. The speaker fell back.
I said I don't have anything to trade right now, but with my anxiety, I could really use a couple of those. So if I were to purchase one or two, how much would you charge for them?
Give us a moment.
Yep. And here, let me here, Raina, you're talking to the guy up here in the upper right hand corner.
That way you can deal face to face.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way you should do it.
That's right. So does that mean they're freezing?
No, I wouldn't do that to her. There's labor involved in making that, and I'm not going to.
I know that.
We're doing $3 a piece for my stress balls.
Okay.
What did you factor in for that?
Okay.
For the supply, to cover the supplies and the shipping. So $3 a piece.
Okay. All right.
And this is not what the finished product is going to look like. This this extra might be cut off, and we're probably gonna have designs on the balloons too.
Well, and we're thinking about putting something around them, like that you squeeze through the the light yarn.
Yep.
Or you could take one like this, like just a regular one.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I'll get in touch with your mom. I've got to look at my finances right now. I know $3 doesn't sound like a lot, but right now it is for me anyway.
It is for everyone. It is for everyone.
I will be getting in touch with Raina. But Raina, I'll make you this promise. I will get in touch with your mom when I know what I got going out at the end of the month, and I'll buy a couple of them from you. I promise you that.
I don't mind doing them to you for free.
No, I'm not doing that because that's not the right way to do things, dear. I mean, I appreciate that, but you put your time, effort, and energy into that, and that is worth more than just giving it away for free.
Plus, you have to buy the supplies, so the supplies have to be paid for one way or the other.
You're right.
Right.
And so does the
She's like, I got parents. What are you talking about?
So. Now, but like I said, give me till the end of the month in about 2 weeks, so I know what I got going out, and I'll get in touch with your mom, and I'll tell her how many I want. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's a done deal.
Like
And what else?
All right.
That's a done deal.
Raina, I'm going to text your mom some pictures that my daughter painted and see if that's the kind of thing you're interested in. She got the flu one year, and so she was quarantined to her bedroom, and she was bored, and she said, Mom, can I paint the wall while I'm in here? And so I'm thinking she's just going to change the color of her bedroom. And so when she finally let me look at it, she had it on a wall where I couldn't see it whenever I was taking her foods and drinks and medicine and everything. And so when she was over being sick and went in there, and she had a life-size Sailor Moon painted on the wall. Wow. And I was like, this is what you did while you're sick. People with the flu stay in bed and act like a baby like me. And here you are in here creating this. I just couldn't believe it.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm sick and I'm bored, I like to create stuff like stress balls and like slime. I like to draw stuff too.
Yes, and that's odd though, because when I was sick with it, I was laying in bed and I was making hair clips for the girls out of just scraps of material, just sewing them into flowers and
see all these arts and craftsy people. I tell you, I don't know, man. I'm in the wrong chat group right now.
Not even. Well, you know, our venture we want to do is we want to get the community involved in this. All of you guys out there, and if you don't have goods that you want to trade, but you want to support local people, so we can do that. And then you know the ones that are crafters, you know, they can take money from people that don't want to trade goods.
Right.
Or they don't
that's
have
what I was saying. I don't have anything to trade right now. So that's why I was willing to pay for the stress balls. You know, because it's not exactly, I couldn't trade photography for that unless I came to, you know, out there to y'all. And that's just not feasible right now.
Right.
Thank you, Brian Platt. I'm sorry, the names are really
and
tiny.
Deanna was talking to you too.
There you go.
Yeah, heck yeah, Deanna. That's what we're really trying to do, that gather up as many people that want to get on board with something like that, like for Christmas time. So if you want to like spread that love out, and you know, there's so many different talented people, but we really want to get something like that going this year, where we're supporting each other, and we're also you know, trading and bartering goods rather than exchanging money when we can. So we want to totally do that. Go ahead, Farmer Son.
I got to go, y'all. It's time to go throw another load of clothes in the washing machine. Get back on my chores before I sit down and just don't do nothing else. But I enjoyed it, y'all. I enjoyed it. God bless all y'all. Okay?
Thanks for coming up.
Take care,
we love you, Farmer Son. You have a great day. He's such a good guy.
18th. Ooh.
Yeah, quick plug for Farmer's Son. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, he has a pretty cool channel, Farmer's Son Prepping. If I have a mod that has his link or can grab it real quick, that would be fantastic. I am trying to get a website up and running. I just haven't taken the time recently to do a whole bunch with it. But I would definitely enjoy some help with that. Deanna, can you pop in my back room for a minute and I'll give you my number? I mean, you're welcome to pop up on panel too. I mean, if that's what you want.
I'm blasting your phone, Heather.
Oh, are you? It's in the other room. I didn't even know. Hold on.
Oh.
Hey, can you keep them entertained for a second?
Yeah.
All right. Keep them entertained.
Yay, we get
I want to see her juggle some of these stress balls. That would entertain me.
I only have 2.
Well, you can only, then juggle the 2.
I can't.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know how to juggle.
Well, I'm going to need you to work on that then. Okay. The next time you come up on panel, I'm going to need you to juggle those for me.
I can squish them.
Those are gorgeous, Bonnie. Yes. That's what her daughter painted. Isn't that gorgeous?
Oh.
Yeah,
you can share it if you want to. It's not. It doesn't matter.
My daughter's a painter as well.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. Well, I don't know if I can.
Yeah. The painting gene skipped me and went straight to my daughter.
All right. Hold on a second. All right. Hold on a second, guys. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Give me a second here.
Hi, beautiful Raina.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. Hey, I just jumped in just for a second to tell you, you guys were talking about those Mylar bags or whatever, the blankets.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need them a little bit larger when you have to share them, or like me, have pets that might need to crawl underneath them. You can use your food sealer bag sealer thing, like your food saver thing. Those are blankets are made out of the same thing that your chip bags are made out of, and you can reseal those. Well, you can do that with one side of the blanket to make a larger blanket. And if you put 2 of them together, you can seal both of them on one side like a seam, like kind of like you're sewing it together, but you're just heating it together. It's section by section. You can do that with one of those food saver machines. I just thought I'd get in here and let everybody know that.
Oh, here's something else for you guys. In a grid down situation for canning or vacuum sealing, you can also use a manual brake bleeder. Okay. And you can get them for about $20 anywhere. And you can use a manual brake bleeder with one of those vacuum sealer tops that come with those the set that you were talking about there, Anna. Where the freezer bag thing. Come on, you guys, help me out. I'm stuttering here. I can't remember the name of it.
Or
the food saver thing. You know how you can get the jar tops to do the vacuum sealing?
Yeah.
And it's got the tube. Okay, well, a manual brake bleeder set will vacuum seal so long as you have those tops. And that is non-electric. It's a pump action with your hand.
Yeah. They sell those for little zippy bags now too.
I have seen people use a Ziploc bag and a curling iron.
I've heard that can be done.
Pretty.
But you'd really, are they using oxygen
That's
absorbers to get any residual air out of those?
Surely they would have to be. I don't.
Say that again, Mutt.
She was saying that she knew somebody, or she had seen videos, excuse me, of people using like curling iron and Ziploc bags. I was asking if they were
Right
using
on. Sorry.
oxygen absorbers in conjunction with that to get any extra air out of those bags.
Well, some people don't use them at all. But the thing that I found is you can make your own oxygen absorbers really, really cheap. I mean, you can get a small $4 or $5 bag of unscented silica crystal cat litter. They sell it as cat litter, and it's the same silica crystal that is in the oxygen absorber packs. You get that. You get yourself a $1 bag of coffee filters and a stapler, and you're golden. If you have old oxygen absorbers that are used up, if you put your oven at like 170, 180, whatever's the lowest temp, and put your oxygen absorbers in the oven for 20 or 30 minutes, it takes all the moisture back out of the silica that's inside of them, and you can reuse them.
Wow. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I knew that. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying because there are
that's cool. That I have some
things
of those
that we take for granted. We live in a throwaway society.
Yeah,
you know, and not everybody, like you said, not everybody has money to just toss away anymore. So you have to find ways to make your dollars stretch. And if you were to get, like one of these bags of cat litter, man, this bag is like 5 pounds worth of silica stuff. That's going to make you an innumerable and whatever custom size you need oxygen absorbers for years.
Like you were saying, those coffee filters are cheap. You can get those at the dollar store for $1. And
exactly. A whole bunch of them that you can use for other purposes as well.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. We have to. You're going to have to be creative in those situations when money is no longer an option. You have to get creative with how to stretch things and how to make things multi-purpose.
Like stretch the stress ball.
And to reuse. That's like knowing that you can reuse them is great.
If you drop your electronic or it gets wet or whatever, you know, you need to get that water out of there. If you could save all those little packets that you get out of like your beef jerkies or your pill bottles and all that stuff, all those little oxygenator things that suck oxygen away, it takes the moisture out too. But always keep them away from pets. Make sure your pets can never get into them, because if they get that in them, that can dehydrate them and suck the oxygen out of them too.
Yeah.
So
you know, the other thing,
keep them away from pets.
The other thing to keep in mind is that if you're getting one, like how you're sourcing your oxygen absorbers, if you're getting them out of beef sticks, don't put them in a grain or flour or anything like that, because they're going to have oils in it which can turn your foods rancid.
Right.
They're going to have the oils from those meats in them. So you got to be careful of that as well. Cool. Getting them out of meats. But like if you're getting them out of like a shoebox or something, quite frankly, pop those in the oven. You know, I mean, they're not being. We don't understand the amount of waste that we actually have until we don't have money or remedies coming back in. Like right now with all these ships in the harbor and the supposed lack of truck drivers and all the different crap that they're throwing at us.
It's
all
not
the different crap that they're trying. Well, what I'm saying about it is there are plenty of people willing to work, and they keep saying that people aren't wanting to work because they're getting paid more to stay home, which is a load of bull. Most people are smart enough to say, I'm not going back to a place that's going to require me to do something to my physical vehicle.
Exactly.
All right. It has nothing to do with the amount of money. For a lot of folks, it has nothing at all to do with that, but they will villainize in whatever arena they can. And we all know that.
Yeah.
They're going to villainize preppers. They're going to villainize Christians. They're going to villainize this person and that person and the other person. And they're going to do it because it causes divide. And we can't fall for it. We cannot allow ourselves to fall for that. You know, We really can't. And now's the time where we either pull it together, pick up our big girl panties or our bootstraps or whatever you got going on, and don't worry if the elastic's worn out. So long as that clasp is still good, we got this. You know?
Yep.
Yep.
We don't care what we look like anymore. That's
No.
what I keep telling the girls. They keep ordering this
That's all-
makeup, and I'm like, makeup's
that's
not
all ego.
nowhere.
That is all ego. That is all ego. Any judgment or division that we cast on anybody else is all ego, our own ego. And that's what we need to fight against right now, because we have to start seeing our commonalities with those around us rather than our differences. We've been trained for so long on our differences that we forget what we have in common.
Yes.
You know, well, not us. I mean, this community, we're pretty, you guys are all really great on this stuff. I just wish we could get this message out to other people that don't, they get it, but they just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Heather, you want to know what is so sad? My friend of 40 years. There was a thing that was sent to me in Facebook Messenger, and it was a nurse talking at I think she was talking at a school board, and she had worked in emergency rooms. She had worked in the schools, and she was talking about all of and saying that it wasn't working and they needed to quit pushing it. And she was like, so I sent it to the few friends that I usually send stuff like that to, and I accidentally sent it to her. And her message back to me was, quit sending me that I don't even want to listen to. It's garbage.
See,
And that's the way they think.
We're at that crossroads. I think right now we're either at that crossroads. Many of us are at the crossroads. Many of us are fast approaching the crossroads, where we're going to have to really make a decision. And we're going to have to truly make a hard decision between our ego self, right? Letting go of that, or following that. And I don't think a lot of people are ready for that. When they, because I have a feeling there's a sharp cliff at the end of their road. And you know, we've done what we can to help, you know, to put out good messages, to put out the great vibe, to keep up the love, to show, you know, to try to show unity, and that we don't all have to be different. We can have our strong beliefs, and we can still rise above that to recognize our commonalities. You know,
And
you
that's
said that great the other day, Bonnie. You did. You were like spot on, perfect.
She'll never survive.
Exactly.
I've seen people attacking people because they're getting their information from somebody or believing something somebody's saying. And the importance that comes to mind is it's not the point of who believes in what. Are you just going to stand up and fight together? Are you going to help each other get through stuff or not? You know?
Yes.
I saw that somebody said, I won't fight alongside those people that are the crazies that think Trump is president, or that think that, sorry I said it out loud like that, but you know, stupid stuff like that. People that think that JFK and this and that, you know, and I'm like, and they're calling them crazy. I was like, are you going to stand alongside somebody to fight for your country because, or not? Period. That's all it amounts to. It's not a matter of whether they believe somebody exists or doesn't exist.
Can we just agree that we are all human and we are all related? Can we not just agree on that, right? And you know, that's the thing too. I mean, and I know I talked about this the other night in another area, in another place, but I do believe that you two beautiful ladies were with me in that conversation. But you know, we need to be reiterating almost constantly right now about, you know, you can't be offended that somebody else doesn't like something you like. If you're offended by them saying something bad about somebody that you listen to or you like, That is a self issue that needs to be like revisited so we can drop that bit of ego, because you can still have your opinions and everybody is entitled to an opinion. But sometimes don't you find it easier to get along if you don't share yours, even if it's different? And I'm not saying, don't share your opinion. What I'm saying is use prudence. We don't always have to start arguments, right? That's fine that you feel that way. I'm sorry you do. I find value there, but I'm not willing to argue that with you because we see things differently, and that's okay.
I just don't get where everybody thinks everything's got to be a damn debate.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah,
It's
Heather
it's really
and I
hard. Hi, Pappy. It's really hard.
It's like Heather and I don't agree on everything, but I still come here because there are things that I can learn from you guys. I don't agree with everything.
And we don't have to.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. And you don't have to agree with me 100% of the time. If you did, we'd be cookie cutters, and that would be boring.
We're not demanding it. We're not like the up there.
Exactly.
And that's what's really hard about being a mod is, people get really mad and they'll start talking about what about freedom of speech and all of that. Understandably so, but at the same time, like I've said before, when you go onto someone's channel, it's like you are going to visit their home. They are allowing you into their home, and you are there as a guest. If you're there for a reason, apparently. And so be considerate, be respectful of others, and yeah, there's going to be disagreements, and that's fine. But at the same time, try to mind your manners. I guess that's the whole.
Yeah, we don't have to be rude to each other to have discussions, and debate isn't always necessary. But sometimes, like when Mutt and I last talked, and he had an issue with the way I was saying one thing, but once he asked me about it, and he understood where I was coming from on my point of view, just because he didn't agree with it didn't mean that he wasn't able to understand it. And so, debate isn't always necessary, but there are times when healthy debate is very good and very necessary, maybe to open other people's eyes as well.
And I'll be honest with you, Heather, I don't even think that in that particular instance, we were even debating. I think it was more of at least in my viewpoint,
conversation.
It was just a discussion. Yeah, it was just a discussion. We weren't even. It didn't even break down into the point of a debate. It was just me trying to understand. And
I don't know.
I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes. Is they don't take the time to try to understand. They just want to be right. And they just want to be heard.
And that is ego. That is an ego problem. Hey, Pappy, welcome.
How you doing?
What's right for one isn't necessarily right for another.
Exactly.
I'm listening to y'all's conversation here and just enjoying myself. I'm trying to eat too. But anyway,
like that, Pappy.
You know what you're getting at here, okay? This is the way that I look at it. When the enemy's coming to the gate, okay, and we gotta go face that enemy. You can show up in a tutu and ballerina shoes with tights and squat when you pee and have your hair all orange. As long as you got the end of your weapon faced in the right direction, okay? I don't care what you look like. I don't care how you talk. I care.
That is a great distraction.
I care where you're aiming.
Good strategy.
We can talk about all that stuff after the fight.
Right. As long as you're not shooting us in the back.
Yeah, my people tended to paint themselves blue and attack you with a giant broadsword. That's got to be strange to see, but at the end of the day, as long as you're attacking the enemy.
Yep, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
You're seeing a lot of this people picking back and forth the little differences between this, that, and the other thing. I see it in the chats all the time. That's human nature. you can you want to get in an argument, get 3 people together and try to get them to agree on something. You know,
Put 3 people in a room, lock the door, and tell them that politics is the only acceptable conversation.
But I do have to say there seems to be this little thing going on lately where people are ganging up like a little gang and going in and distracting and tearing down somebody that's on a panel or in a chat, and they're distracting everybody from all the good works that they were doing on somebody's show, and that's kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, they remind me of the piss ants that you'll walk into in the woods once in a while, the gnats or the damn deer flies or something like that. You know, they're just a pain in the ass. You know, you got to be swatting at them all the time while you're trying to walk forward.
I kind of pity those folks.
I do too. They, you know, I was someplace last night where they were having a really good discussion, and there was people with some knowledge there and had experience with certain things. They were sharing that, and then it had to turn into a battle with somebody that was in the chat, and they all went up on the panel, and then it ended up being this total distraction from being constructive, and it was just awful. My heart goes out to the people that are doing programs like this, and someone's got to come in there and start distracting everybody from the positive energy that was there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's part of those spiritual attacks we keep talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it starts in their energy, you know, and they put it out in what they're saying and stuff. I noticed it in the chat this morning, you know, with the test run that Mike put out there on the different channels and stuff. People in the chat were just going right crazy on somebody in there, and that's just distracting from what was being said on the panel and just all kinds of stuff, you know, and that's by design.
Yes.
You know,
exactly. It's to cause more division.
The big deceiver out there does not want unity. Okay, does not want people to come together with one mind and one intent and one energy, because we're much too powerful when we do. Okay, yes. And humans being humans, you know, they're going to get involved in all this stuff, and they're going to take the Jerry Springer approach to life and sit there and go back and forth until somebody slaps somebody, and then, you know, that's how it goes. And I have a saying: interpersonal relationships is a wonderful field to get into, but you have to remember to take people out of the equation, and then it'll be fine.
You know, what's even worse, I think, than the people that come in just to stir up the pot, I think, are the people that fall for it and get themselves so worked up into a froth that they start telling people that they don't belong in those channels. And those people, you know, like, all right, specifically, because I feel like we're kind of talking about liberties here, so I'm going to just address it outright, because Mike is a good man. And his message is really important for a lot of people. He carries a lot of folks on his shoulders that they don't even realize they're up there, right? So
he does. He takes it to heart, and he
really does.
In every
and it breaks
person.
my heart when I see members of that family tell other people that they don't belong there, when he has tried so hard to make an open platform. And yeah, we have rules as mods in that channel, and those are just to be respectful, not to cuss. We're not going to pull anybody down. We're not going to let anybody drag anybody else through the mud. And those are our rules. You know what I mean? So it really hurts me to see when the family, like when good people fall for it and they start like trying to tell other people that they don't belong there. When we all belong together, we're not looking for echo chambers. We're looking to find the glue that holds us all together. You know, everybody that goes there, it's a calling in the human spirit right now for us to bind together and become cohesive so that we can move forward. And we all know it. And we all know it in a different way.
there's something important happening when you see that. Okay. And I always say this, and I want you to always remember this. Everything is a lesson. So when you see these things happen, that's an opportunity for those that are doing those things to understand that they have triggers or they have weaknesses or they have something that needs to be addressed. Okay. Those that get triggered by those that do that, by the same token, that's the opportunity for a lesson within themselves, for them to take a look at, why am I getting triggered on this? Okay. Why do I feel the way that I do? How can I interact with that? Remember, we're not going to be able to take the human out of the human, just like we can't take the dog out of a dog. Okay. If it's there, okay, it's there for a reason. We're smart enough that we should be able to take that and say, okay, I can run with this. What's this lesson right here? They're in a different place than I am. Okay. Do I have to respond to them? Do I want to change my energy pattern to their energy pattern and resonate with it? Or do I want to try to maintain my energy pattern? So those are choices. You have a choice. Okay. Most of the time, I will ignore those people, and if I don't like what they're saying, I understand they have a right to say it, okay, for whatever reasons they want to. But if I don't want to see it, I can personally block it if I'm not they won't show up on my feed, and I'm fine.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, it hurts us when we see that other people that are not there to defend themselves or whatever are being attacked or being maligned or whatever. Or this stuff is going on the side view over here, all the little bickering and stuff going on while the main subject of the channel is being ignored, and that's disrespectful. And to me, that's what it comes down to, is that this is a big lesson in respect all the way around. Some people are there and some people aren't. Oh,
But
Bonnie,
what?
by the way, when we get off the live chat later, give me a call. I got a question about what I'm going to be sending you.
Okay.
Okay, you got my number, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, BR509.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Pappy, that was a really good point you made, and I think it bears remembering that we have to make that decision. That is an individual choice that we make as human beings, as individuals, on whether we are going to lower our vibration to meet another's, or whether we're going to try to lift their vibration up to meet ours. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't, but that is their choice. They can choose to stay in that low vibration or to come up. That's their choice. But we also have that choice, and we don't have to match their vibration. And the more we can let go of our egos, the more that we can see with the eyes of our spirit, the better we are able to love our fellow man, as our brothers and sisters. We have to let go of these labels. We have to start really ripping these labels off of us. Somebody else gave those to us, some of them we gave ourselves, I'm sure, over time, but we have to start ripping these labels right off ourselves. We cannot keep allowing people to label us and diminish our light, because we are all beings of light and we all deserve to shine bright. That was Creator's purpose, I believe. And I think that it's really important to remember that it is a conscious choice to go down to someone's level or to try to raise them up.
But you know what? Did you see the gathering of the whole family? That 48 hours at Hawks? That was absolutely amazing. And look how many people went over there. I know surely there's not a person in here that didn't go over there at least once. I was there a lot, but that
exactly. No, I didn't go over.
Was there once,
didn't know anything.
Oh, well, that was, to me, it was amazing. It was everybody coming
together. I took a couple of days hiatus from the internet, so
Sometimes that's good. Sometimes that is just the key to replenishing your spirit, is to pull away from. Because listen, when it comes down to it, guys, and you guys have heard me say it, I'm not saying that what is happening in our world today doesn't matter. I am saying that is the surface stuff. And that if we really, truly mean to face this monster head on and win, we're going to have to go deeper within to find our warrior, because he's not outside of you. It's inside of you. It is looking within. It is tearing off those labels, and it is letting go of that ego to be able to see our commonalities rather than our differences. Those are the things that are going to help us truly move forward and unite. Because until we can all rip off our labels, we're just what somebody calls us. And I know as a parent, we tell Raina, she ran into some really nasty kids online one time, and they called her names and it hurt her feelings. And I said, well, are you? And she just looked at me, and I said, just because someone calls you a name doesn't make you that name. Just because someone else has labeled you something doesn't make you that label. Let go of the labels, because you can't heal. A wound can't heal unless you take the Band-Aid off and let it get oxygen. We're human. We need that oxygen. So I think it's really important that we all maybe, I don't know how we try to help people realize that. I guess just doing what we're doing.
It's not just that. It's, okay, what really, really makes me mad, and I'm sorry, it's bred in me, it's ingrained in me. It's, the lady on Liberty said it perfect today. My blood is red, white, and blue. That's that's the feeling is, okay, so even though, yes, it's a spiritual world, it's warfare, I understand that part of it, but it's also a human warfare that is against everyone all over this earth. You're seeing it, all these other countries, it's happening everywhere. And that's what makes me mad. Is that bad?
No, not at all. And it's frustrating. I've had to do a lot of really deep searching on that. And I had to start asking myself why I was angry about these things, so that I could get true answers. And what I found is, I found that I had a lot of problems. The lens I was looking through was very dirty. It was very affected by negative events in my past. And I'm always telling, like, my adult children, I'm always telling them, look, at some point in your life, right, you are a grown up, and you have to take responsibility for the decisions that you make. You cannot continue to blame things in your life on things that happened to you as a child. At some point, you are going to have to come to terms with those and move forward in your life, or it'll always be somebody else's fault. You'll never find the answers you're looking for. Right. So a little bit of self-responsibility there is, I think, needed for a lot of people. But there are going to be instances that make us angry, that get us upset. We are human beings, and it makes me more frustrated than angry. I try not to live in anger anymore. I try very hard not to be in that mindset, because it hurts me. And then I literally will get sick after I am angry. If I've held anger for longer than a 24-hour period, I will be physically ill. It takes me a long time to heal. So I try not to do that.
You're not supposed to go to bed angry. And
exactly.
So it has shown me too. No wonder the Native Americans were so mad whenever we just took over their land, because now I get it.
Yeah. Until it happens, the other side. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's all been a lot of the time by deception on our, some of us.
It's just, I mean, I think those are things that we have to talk about these things, because some people, they don't even realize they're doing it until they're in full on like anger mode or jealousy or any of those negative envy, any of those feelings. And that is because they're looking outside themselves to find something that isn't what they need. They need looking inward to find their connection. I'm not saying it the right way that I want to. Come on, somebody jump in here and help me out.
I wish I could help you.
Nobody understands me.
I don't understand what you're saying either.
Well, because when we let anger or frustration or any of the lower vibration energies enter in and take control, and we feed that, then that grows, right? It gets bigger, it gets uglier, it gets more dissonant. You get angrier, you get more upset, and you literally can make yourself sick with that.
Well, it's
cannot feed it. Right. Well, but here's the thing, when we feed it outside of ourselves, we're feeding it with inside of ourselves as well, I think is what I was trying to say, maybe.
Right. That light inside of you need to let overtake any other thing that tries to come inside of you, whether it's anger, depression, any of those things that can harm you physically, spiritually, mentally, whatever. You have to let that light be brighter than those other things. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is, because we have to. Love is something you give out, you give it freely, right? But at the same time, you cannot forget to nourish the wellspring within. Like, only you can take care of that. Nobody else can do that for you. You can give love out to all manner of folks and give it freely and willingly, but you also have to have that love inside, or you're just giving away your energy without refilling it, and then you'll have a dry hole. So I mean, you really have to. We have to pay attention to our spiritual health too, is what I'm saying, because it does affect everything else. I don't know if I'm making any sense to y'all.
Yes, you are.
You're making sense to me, and I'm going to put my little 2 cents in there too. If people come up to you and you've got all of your switches hanging on the outside of your door, okay, that other people can turn on and off, okay, and you don't have just a doorbell, okay, then you put yourself in trouble. All right, so move those switches that turn your heat and turn your lights and those sort of things. Put them inside where you can control those things, and the only thing that you have outside is the doorbell and the camera to see who's coming up and what kind of package they're delivering to you.
That's a good way to put it.
And do not tolerate porch pirates.
What's a porch pirate?
A porch pirate are the people that come up and steal packages on other folks' porch.
Oh,
that's what they're called?
They're called porch
Yes,
pirates.
they call porch pirates.
They're called porch pirates. I almost shot one a couple of weeks ago.
wow.
I don't play. You come up on my porch. I've got no trespassing sign. You come up on my porch, I'm going to shoot you. That's
That's right.
My neighbors know. My neighbors all know.
That's right, Jeff, too.
It's crazy.
Yeah, Jeff said, no one can make me upset. They don't have that power. Only I have the power to let someone make myself mad.
That's exactly
right. That is
well said.
The bottom truth of
Hi,
it.
Crystal.
It's a choice. And sometimes we're not making that consciously, but we need to start being consciously aware of those choices. And I think that being said, we live a better life because we are looking through a better lens. And perception is a lot of how you live your life. How your life turns out has a lot to do with how you perceive it. We've all been through bad times, rough times, hard times, but look at the lessons we've learned. Look at the things that we have garnered from that period of our lives. Can any of you honestly say that if you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't be a better person today? Because I know for myself, if I had not gone through the things that I have been through, I would not be who I am today, and I wouldn't even be anywhere close to knowing any of this.
We wouldn't be married. We wouldn't have Raina. You know, the things that there's reasons why you are where you're at. You know.
Well, and sometimes even bad people are placed in your path for a reason.
Right back to we were discussing that about a month and a half ago. You know, you never know.
And
when
on that note, I'll leave.
It's either for that person or if it's for you. You know, it could be both ways. You never know. You know, and it's a good thing when people come into your life.
All right, Pappy. I love Pappy. How you doing today, Monty?
I'm all right. How are you all doing?
Pretty good.
We're good. Sorry, I was just really in the middle of trying to express that properly. I wanted everybody to understand what I was trying to get to, but I was having a hard time saying it.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. You are all right. You know, you was talking about triggers and stuff, and there's one trigger that I can't change or anything else, and I kind of talked about this over on Hawks at the very beginning of the 48-hour prayathon. He's given me inspiration to be more of a voice, you know, especially for the children. And okay, I'm just going to come right out and say it. So, quite a few years ago, like 6, 7, 8 years ago, a friend of mine, he had a home karaoke system. He had some microphones, and then he had a couple of wireless microphones, or the headsets. Him and his wife was having headsets, and he went to go and hand me a regular microphone. I said, "No, I'm good." He goes, "Come on, you know you want to sing?" I was like, "No, I don't. I don't do that in front of public people, anyways." And he handed it to me, and so on the third time he handed it to me like a couple inches away from my mouth. So I was freaked out, and I was like, "Dude, get that away from me! I'm telling you." And it flipped. I flipped because of what had happened to me when I was little by my cousin, and it was a trigger.
Because he was trying to force something on you.
Well, that, and it was the shape of the regular microphone, if you get what I'm saying.
Yes. Okay.
And so it was an instant trigger, and I wigged out. And still this day, I can't do that. So yeah, it helps me to talk about it now. But it's still that triggers.
I'll catch y'all later.
All right, later, Mutt. But it's still something. It's one of those triggers that I can't mentally change. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to change it. But what I can do is talk about it to where, like you say, ripping the Band-Aid off without oxygen in there. It does help a little bit. But
yeah.
I'll still be able to never change that trigger. What I can do is voice.
Now listen, just for a minute, Monty, is that when we face those really, really difficult trials, okay, there's a lot more healing that needs to be done because there is a lot more trauma that has occurred. All right. So it's not to say that you can't heal. It's just to say that those stitches are going to take a little bit longer. Okay. You can't, well, you can approach it any way you like because that's, your choice. But may I suggest that when you approach it as, okay, I haven't healed yet. I don't know how to fix this yet, but give yourself yet so that you know that you are strong enough to be able to heal. Don't take it away from yourself, right? Your spirit hears you, Monty. It knows your wishes, but you must be clear in those wishes. And every time you say, I can't or it won't, you're fueling that part of it. You're going to create your own little block shielding, So give yourself yet, right? This is how we move. And I'm speaking to you right now from a place of love right here, Monty.
I know.
We have to, this is how we move ourselves from victim to survivor, eventually from survivor to warrior. Okay. And there are stages, and there are a lot of stages. And sometimes the work hurts more than the wound. Not gonna lie to you. Sometimes the work hurts more than the wound. But you got to clean that festering shit out of that wound, or it's not going to heal properly.
Yes.
And you have to give yourself yet. You have to do that part, because if you're not giving yourself the expectation that that day will come, then you won't find that day. And I really want you to find that day, because you can. And I know you can. I believe you can.
Can I say something too?
Yes.
Because I totally understand the trauma. One thing, I'm not allowed to say can't, should, anything that could turn it into a negative thought. And okay, I'm not saying that somebody's not allowing me to say those things. It's just I'm being told that that's what it can do, is turn into a negative thought. And also at the same time, we tend to, our minds will over exaggerate certain things, or crud. I forgot the other word that I was going to use. But I have these worksheets, Monty, and if there's some way I can get you them, and each thought that you have, you put it down, and you put down how that thought makes you feel. And in this worksheet, you work through it. I went through a 6-week trauma course, and that was the system that we used. And the PTSD at the end, I was told they said was gone. I don't feel that it's gone, but I feel that now I can control it.
Right. And knowing your triggers is literally more than half of the battle, because if you know what your triggers are for certain things, I have severe PTSD, and I have a couple other things, and I have really bad social anxiety, but I have not been on medication for over 20 years. Blessed be the creator, because I had to do the work. And that's how I know personally that sometimes the work hurts worse than the wound. But if you don't get it out, it'll stay infected. If you don't find those triggers, once you have those triggers, that knowledge about yourself is so invaluable that it gives you fuller control over that. And I'm going to give you a really simple example, and I use this in a day-to-day, so I don't usually share a lot about the bad bits of my past. because they were terrible, but I don't look at them that way. I don't view them that way. And I can't, because I've learned too many valuable lessons in them to not be grateful for those things happening, so that A, they don't happen to anybody else within my purview. B, that I am stronger for it. I learned how to find my triggers, and knowing what they are, I'm able to, in most cases, avoid those triggers, and thereby avoid the panic attacks and the severe anxiety and the palpitations and the shutdown. Because I've literally walked into Walmart and shut down into a fetal position and just couldn't do it.
Yep.
Right.
That's happened to me.
I've got stuck in the middle of. Isn't that funny that it's a Walmart?
Right. But until I changed my, right. Until I changed my perception, and learned those things about myself, where I was able to reel it in and be in control of myself, because they wanted to put me on some really, really heavy meds, and I've always kind of been against that, and I haven't been on meds for a long, long time, but that's because I had to take the time to do the serious deep digging and open those old wounds to clean out the infection. I had to find, in the hardest, darkest parts of my life, forgiveness.
Yes.
Forgiveness for the people that hurt me so bad. It's not for them. It is not for them. It is cleaning out the infection. Right? Forgiveness is cleaning out the infection so that wound can heal properly, so that you can be stronger for it. Because scars are cool, man. No, I'm just kidding. Scars aren't always cool. But scars show healing. They show the body and spirit's healing. And I'm telling you, a healed area is tougher. Am I wrong? Than the edges around it. Those scars are tougher skin for a reason. So we have to be grateful for those scars, and the pain that was caused by them doesn't have to linger if you don't allow it. Go ahead, Monty. I'm sorry, honey.
I know, and I've turned a lot of that into. Okay, the older I get, the more I'm able to control a lot of them, and a lot of things like that. What I've wanted to do is turn that into a passion for a voice for the children, if you get what I'm saying.
Monty, that's what I was going to tell you. The greatest gift I got from it is to be able to read the signs and help others.
So, like, even in this last 48 out during that 48-hour prayathon, it even helped me a lot to be able to be a voice even more so than what I even ever was. And when I come across talk, having gone through some of the similar things, it's not very often I get to come across and relate to another male that has been through some of those things. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's females that I've come across and I can relate to them. Now, I was just saying that's just one of those hidden triggers on me that I don't try and let it sneak up on me and like say boo to me, or anything else like that. If I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain it, but so while I have a few minutes, Lynn Wood has been dropping some booms, big booms, video clip booms of a whistleblower that is speaking out about a bunch of stuff. Kent's being bad, Judge Roberts being bad, about his adopted children, the connection into the smuggling ring, of children, about Hillary, a whole bunch of different stuff. It's on Telegram. Also, I come across a new browser that doesn't allow it. So far, it's worked on me whenever I was up on Travis's panel last night. It's called Brave instead of Chrome.
Yeah,
Brave
I've
works,
used that before.
Yeah, Brave works on StreamYard, Zoom, and not Zoom. Zoom's different, and Restream. Because
All
before
my
with
really,
Chrome,
all my really favorite conspiracy diggers use the Brave platform and DuckDuckGo, and what's the other one that starts with a P?
I'm not sure.
Oh, it's Yippee.
But I even found on Restream, like it doesn't. Before I was using Chrome on Restream, and it would lag up my phone and slow it down and make it do weird stuff. But Brave, since I switched to Brave, it doesn't do that. And I was just putting it out there for people. If they want to give it a try, they can. It's more secure than Chrome.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be more private. So
I don't care for Chrome myself. I used to use Firefox quite a bit.
Right.
But it is what it is now. But anyway, Monty, while I got you on camera, I love you, brother. I'm giving you a big hug.
I love you too. And I love all this village of the people that I have come across in the last few months on here. And like I've said before, it's all one village. We all got to lean on each other. And I don't like any of the arguing or anything that's been going on between the other channels or anything. And because we're all just trying to, a good friend of mine last night, I was talking to him, and she told me that, we're all in this same place trying to get little bits and pieces of this gigantic puzzle.
Exactly. Listen, we're all parts of this puzzle. We're all parts of the puzzle, and we're all just finding our place. And there's nothing wrong with being shuffled around a bit sometimes. And sometimes it comes to that, and that's okay. You can put me in a pile for later. I get it, right? I know that that's not a complete picture without me. We are all fractals, right? Every Holy Spirit among us, every spirit inside of us is a fractal of our divine creator. We are literally a piece of that. How amazing and special are you, right? Each and every one of you is a divine spark of life. And if you don't see how precious that is, maybe I'll try to help you see that. Because you know what? You glitter, whether you like glitter or not. You don't have a choice.
We are all here for this time. There's a reason for it.
I believe that. I do believe that. And I believe that each one of us has a message that someone needs to hear. And each of us has such a different way of giving those messages to people that there are many people who can hear the message in the way that they need to hear it. And I think that's maybe part of it. Go ahead, Pappy.
We're ready.
Did you have to clean your boots off?
We all come together as like minds and like emotions and stuff, and we have a good time together, and it reminds me of one of the things we used to do in the playground. We'd all get out there, we'd be having a good time and laughing and giggling, and somebody would say goose pile, and everybody would run over and tackle somebody, and everybody's on the goose pile, everybody's laughing, they're having a good time and everything. And and that was just sharing wonderful energy in a tight little ball. But even there, I learned that sometimes you're going to have an elbow in your eye, you're going to have a foot stuck in your nose, or something even worse than that. And that's what happens in goose piles. Okay, but if you come out of it laughing, even the black eye didn't mean anything.
Yeah. Right.
I love your wisdom. I really do love your wisdom, Pappy.
It only happens when I have this hat on.
His thinking cap. We're gonna call that your thinking cap. That's so true, though. We call them potato piles here. My brothers used to love to tackle me because they were both bigger than me. So it was potato pile, and I had to get the heck going.
See, we used to call it dog pile.
That's what we called it.
Yeah.
And I had 3 brothers.
Yeah. I just wanted to get up on here. I know it'd been a few days since I'd last been up on panel here, and
well, thanks for stopping in with us. I know you've been a busy fella.
That I tell you what, something that was really inspiring though, and it helped quite a bit, especially with me, is that 48-hour prayer-a-thon. I'm not totally efficient like remote at saying a prayer, but I'm learning. He said just let the Spirit fill through you and speak, and I mean I'm learning. It's using those big fancy, I call them big fancy words, I'm not really good at saying those in a way, or saying a personal prayer for someone else. I tend to just put it out there, worldwide prayer or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But just wanting to get up on here and let y'all know I love y'all. I appreciate every one of y'all. And
Monty, doesn't make any difference how elaborate or how illustrious or how glittering your prayers are. Creator hears the words of the heart anyways. We could be stumbling around and bumbling like Mr. Potato Head's latest speech, and the Creator would know what you meant. Okay, and that's the important thing. The words and everything that we put out there, are they really to impress Creator, or are they really to impress the ears of the listeners that you're trying to get it across to? If you don't think you can get your message across to people, that's fine. Give it out to Creator. Creator will get the message to the people in his own way and the way they can understand.
Right.
I literally do that every day before the show. I'm like, let me be a conduit for whatever needs to be brought up today, whatever needs to be spoken. And that's all I ask every day when I get on here. And I don't come on with a plan. And I know that sounds terrible, but I feel like we have to flow with whatever energy comes our way. And we need to shine light on those energies and lift each other up in that way. So that's, you guys know we try to do that here. And that's really every day before I get on here, I'm just let me be a conduit for whatever needs to come out, because it's not about me. It's about trying to help you guys. That's why we started this in the first place. So this is how we help each other by sharing Creator's love.
Heather, Monty, Bonnie, and so many of the people in the chat that we've interacted with before, Jeff Riddle, those others that have their other channels, we're all conduits, okay? And if we say to ourselves, just like you're saying, Heather, that I want to be a conduit for this to go through for the benefit of others, understand that not only just pure goodness goes through that conduit. Sometimes Creator uses that conduit to drain the sewage off from the receiver. Okay, so the conduit does work both ways. So the conduit needs to remember that we have a self-cleaning cycle once in a while where we can flush the stuff out, so that when we send the good stuff down through there, there's no residue inside. Okay, that's something important to remember about being a hollow bone to allow Creator to use. Because a pot can have many uses. It depends upon the contents that's put into it. All right. The pot doesn't really care what the contents are. It's just happy to be utilized as a pot. And the pot gets scrubbed by the user. So all of you in your own way, you're able to do that. So, and you're able to maintain the conduit. Just make sure it isn't full of holes, it isn't rusted through, it isn't squashed flat. It isn't allowed to be blocked up by the debris of the world that we live in. Keep your conduit free. Keep your light lit at the end of it so you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and not think it's a train coming your way. We don't need any more train wrecks. We get those every night about 11 o'clock.
Happy, that reminds me of the community pot where everybody in the community comes and puts whatever they have on hand into the pot to make an amazing stew at the end.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's like the
That
old
is beautiful.
story of the rock soup, stone soup.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That I think is a wonderful place to leave our people today. We sure love all of you. If you guys can't feel the love, lean in a little closer. We love you. What an amazing show. I feel so light right now. I feel bright right now. I feel lifted up, and I want to thank each and every one of you. Really, you're amazing. You are all amazing. My panel, chat, all of you. You're blessings, and don't ever forget that you are blessings. Okay? Don't forget how special you are. Whose image were you made in? You better remind me, but you better remind you too.
Great
All right?
image.
Don't forget how special you guys are. I love you. I'm not going to even do last thoughts unless somebody has one that they feel needs to come out right now.
Can I tell you about? Okay, so we was doing the end prayer of that 48 hours, right? So each one of us on that panel got to say a prayer, and in between me and Mike Markuson's, I'd already finished, and towards the end of Mike Markuson's, this is. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. This is a little sign that I got, and it was on an unknown number. It said, "Great compensation under your name, N.A.N.A.M.E. State is going after abusive Catholic priest." And so, with that, because I that was what my last prayer was about that we have to be the voice for the children. We got to speak out for the children because they don't have a voice all the time. And it was a very heartfelt prayer. And then towards the end of Mike Markuson's, I got that text, and I'm like, whoa, talking about a sign.
Yes.
And it sent even more chills up and down my spine. So
some of those signs that you get are telling you you're on the right path, and other ones are help pointing the way. You just have to listen and look with your spirit to know which one it is.
I know.
But usually it's pretty clear.
I know. I love y'all.
We love you too, Monty. We love you, Pappy and Bonnie. And thanks for coming up, everybody in chat. Yep. You guys, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful chat group. What a wonderful panel. You guys are so amazing. Go ahead, Pappy. Got some last words for us? Final thoughts?
Oh, no. I was just waving. See you next time. Y'all come back now, you hear?
Oh, love all of y'all.
Love you guys. Love and light.